Jinx's Great Revenge. 8-year-old Felix was a master of mischief. Today, he had snatched Jinx's favorite teddy bear and tucked it high up on the bookshelf where she couldn't reach. "Finders keepers, Jinx," he laughed, darting out of the room. 5-year-old Jinx folded her arms, her face turning a bright shade of red. She wasn't going to let him get away with it this time. It was time for a plan. Jinx retreated to her secret headquarters, the space under her bed. With a flashlight and a notepad, she began to draw. She didn't want to just get her bear back. She wanted to show Felix that little sisters could be just as tricky as big brothers. She scribbled down 3 top-secret missions. "Operation Giggles is a go," she whispered to herself. The next morning, Felix sat down for breakfast. He reached for his glass of orange juice and took a giant gulp. Suddenly, his eyes widened and his face puckered up like a dried raisin. Jinx had swapped his sweet juice with extra sour lemon water. Felix gasped, "Ack! Why is this so sour?" Jinx watched from the hallway, muffled giggles escaping her lips. Felix decided to head outside to play, but when he tried to step away from the table, his feet wouldn't move. He looked down and realized his shoelaces were tied together in a giant, messy knot. As he wobbled and tried to keep his balance, he saw Jinx peeking from behind the kitchen door, waving a tiny finger at him. "Oops," she chirped. Later that afternoon, Felix went to his room to play his favorite video game. He reached for his controller, but it felt fuzzy. Jinx had covered the entire controller in dozens of tiny, colorful sticky notes. Each one had a silly face drawn on it. Felix sighed, peeling them off one by one. "Jinx, I know you're behind this," he shouted toward the hallway. Felix went to the living room to read a book, thinking he was finally safe. Little did he know, Jinx was crawling silently behind the sofa like a tiny ninja. In her hand, she held a large sticker she had made. It featured a drawing of a donkey with the words, "I love tickles," written in big, shaky letters. She reached out with lightning speed. Felix walked into the hallway and caught his reflection in the full-length mirror. He saw the sticker on his back and his messy hair that Jinx had snuck some glitter into while he was napping. He looked like a sparkly, tickle-loving mess. He didn't look angry, though. He looked at the drawing and realized Jinx had actually worked really hard on her revenge. "Jinx, I know you're in here," Felix called out, walking back into the playroom. The room was quiet, but the long tablecloth was wiggling just a little bit. Jinx was hiding underneath, holding her breath and trying not to let out a loud snort of laughter. She could see Felix's feet approaching the table slowly. Felix suddenly lifted the edge of the tablecloth. "Gotcha," he yelled. But instead of being mad, he started tickling her. Jinx collapsed onto the floor, howling with laughter. Okay, I give up," she squealed. Felix laughed too, sitting down on the floor beside her. "Your pranks were actually pretty good, Jinx. You're a better ninja than I thought." Felix reached behind his back and pulled out the teddy bear he had hidden earlier. "Here," he said, handing it back. They spent the rest of the evening sitting on the rug together, drawing new stickers and planning pranks to play on their parents. Jinx realized that revenge was fun, but having a brother to play with was even better.